At the boathouse, Mac arrives as Cody pulls James out of the water. Mac asks James if he's okay. James says, "Cody saved me." Mac says he can see that. Sasha, Maxie and Felicia arrive. Maxie hugs her son and tells him he can't keep running down. She asks her mama to textbook Spinelli to let him know James is safe. James explains he wouldn't have run down if he got to keep taking assignments with Cody. Maxie says that he can take assignments, but he's predicated for 2 weeks. James asks why she changed her mind. Maxie says she made a mistake proscribing him from seeing Cody. Mac interrupts and says, "It wasn't your mama's mistake, it was mine." Mac tells James that his passions were hurt and he was angry, so he took it out on Cody. Still, that only hurt James in the process. James asks his forefather why he was frenetic at Cody. Mac tells James that Cody is his son. James asks, "Does that make Cody my uncle?" James looks over at Cody, who says it does. James thinks this is cool. He asks his mama if that means Cody is her family, and she says yes. James asks Mac why this made him frenetic. Mac explains that he only just set up out that Cody is his son, but it reminded him that family always forgives and loves one another, indeed if they're frenetic at each other. James leverages Cody and welcomes him to the family. Maxie leverages Mac and says she's proud of him. Maxie thanks Cody, and she and the boy leave to get James into dry clothes. Mac tells Cody his gratefulness towards him knows no bounds. Cody jokes he sounds like Spinelli, the son he no way had. Mac says he has a son, and Cody says he has a pater. They embrace. Cody and Sasha return to the forces. She asks if he's okay. Cody can't stop allowing what if he didn't get to the boathouse in time. Sasha says she got there. He saved James, and Commodity Beautiful came out of it. He says, "I got a father." She notes, "You got a whole family." She asks how it feels. He admits it's like nothing he's ever felt until now. Sasha and Cody passionately kiss. Back at the boathouse jetties, Felicia asks Mac if he's happy. He is, and says she was right. She laughs she's always right. They kiss. Anna arrives at Laura's office, per her invite. Laura explains they've a meeting with the new WSB station chief. Laura knows she lately arrested him. Anna explains Brennan's been acquitted and is now a completely accredited agent again, and they'll likely get no further explanation on that from the WSB. Brennan arrives, and Laura explains that she arranged this meeting because they all have common interests. Laura cuts to the chase and thinks they've a unique occasion then with Anna and Brennan's participated history and skill sets. She wants them to detect Valentine Cassadine. Anna says the FBI is looking for him, and this is beyond her reach. Brennan notes that the WSB tries not to intrude with the FBI's cases. Laura is concerned because Valentine has her granddaughter. Anna reassures her that Valentine would no way put Charlotte in peril. They're intruded when Laura gets a call. Commodity has come up, and she defenses herself for a moment. Formerly alone, Anna accuses Brennan of hiding Valentine. He says she has no evidence and that she could always confess to Laura that she helped Valentine escape. Laura returns and wonders what she missed. Brennan says they were talking about authorities. He says he needs to be going. Still, he'd love to meet with Laura and hear some of her stories as her character precedes her. Brennan departs, and Laura notes Brennan is fascinating, which concerns her. She wonders if Brennan formerly knows where Valentine is. Suddenly, Laura gets a call and is shocked. She says she'll be there right down. Anna asks if everything is okay. Laura reveals, it's Lulu. At the sanitarium, Alexis helps Christina get dressed as she's being discharged. Christina knows she's not in a good mood, and rather of being happy to leave, she has realized walking out the door means her life starts over again, but without her baby. Alexis offers Christina a key to her place to give to Blaze so she can visit. Christina thanks her mama but says it's gratuitous. Christina explains that Allison went on stint, and she pushed her to go as she isn't in a good place and can't be anything to anyone. Alexis says she's commodity enough big to her. Dr. Navarro enters with the results of Christina's discharge examination. She says so far, her uterus and ovaries look good, and she should make a full recovery. She sees no reason she can't have a child in the future. Dr. Navarro leaves, and Christina wonders what full recovery means. Alexis says it means her body will heal. Christina asks, "What about the rest of me?" Alexis says that will take time, but her heart will get better too. Curtis and Stella converse in a meeting room. He thanks Stella for walking them through the paperwork to plan a baby's burial. Stella wants to help TJ and Molly in any way she can. Stella has utmost of it handled. Now, it's just the birth instrument that needs to be perfected. TJ arrives and finds out that Molly isn't then yet. He says Molly can catch up, and they should get started. Stella explains that they need a name for the birth instrument, but TJ says they no way landed on one. Stella suggests they just use Lansing Ashford for now. Molly soon arrives and apologizes for being late as she had a meeting with her master. Molly is brought up to speed, and TJ feels they still need to name their baby. Stella says they can use their last names and decide on a name laterally. She explains her family Irene always had a knack for being the calm in the storm, and she'd say that life goes on, indeed in the face of the most delicate of tragedies. She says it's so important for couples going through commodity this profound to hold on to one another. Stella and Curtis leave to give them a moment alone. TJ has issues with Molly being late. Molly tells TJ she's been trying to throw herself into her work to forget, but nothing helps. She says she indeed brazened Ava, who wouldn't confess, and indeed if she did, their baby is still gone. Back in Christina's room, Alexis hoped Molly would be then moment. She asks if Christina has seen Molly recently. Christina has, and she tells her about their visit and how she reported what happened between her and Ava. She says Molly was floored and furious, especially after seeing the prince. Scott meets with Clement in a storehouse and tells him he's then to help him escape Sonny, who presumably wants him dead. He tells Clement that he'll get them some snacks as they're taking a lift out to Ladle Island. At her gallery, Kate tells Ava they can spin the story in those prints any way they want, especially when the victim is a civil substantiation. She reminds him only one person went through the window. Dainties tells her to hear him out. The prints show her defending herself from Christina attacking her. Also, it's clear Christina was in a rage, it's written all over her face. He suggests Christina came there that day to shut Ava up permanently, which is a felonious conspiracy to cover her father and tried murder. At Sonny's place, Jason warns Sonny that if he kills Dainties, there will be no coming back from taking out an FBI agent. Sonny feels he'll have no choice if Jagger forces his hand. Sonny knows Jagger won't stop going through the people he loves to get to him, and he won't stay for him to make the coming move. Jason gets a call from Brick, and relays that Scott has gone to a part of city he shouldn't be in. Sonny assumes Scott went after the druggist and asks Jason to bring Clement to him. He needs to get to General Hospital as Christina's being discharged. Jason arrives at the storehouse and finds Clement before Scotty can get back to him. Scott drops the bag of snacks he brought and runs. Clement asks if Jason is with the FBI. Jason states he works for Sonny. Clement promises to do whatever they want, crying he has a family and wants to live. Jason asks who paid him to tamper with Sonny's meds. Was it Ava? Clement explains he'd relations with Ava, and she set up out Sonny was getting only a bit of his specifics. He admits she latterly told him to reduce it to 0. Jason wants the name of who originally paid him to tamper with the meds. Clement eventually confesses it was Valentine Cassadine. Back at the gallery, Scott calls Dainties and informs him that Jason has Clement. Ava is irate as she'll be Sonny's coming stop. Kate says not if he has anything to say. He orders Ava to stay then and walks out. Sonny arrives at the sanitarium. Alexis is still with Christina, and he asks if she's ready to leave. Christina asks her mama for a seltzer so she can have a moment with her pater. Alexis leaves, and Sonny asks how she's feeling. Christina wants an update on Ava. Sonny says Ava is alive, and it's going to stay that way. He explains that barring Ava isn't the only way to balance the scales. Christina wants her dead. Sonny tells Christina to trust him as he doesn't want Ava's death on her heart or her heart. In the halls, Curtis tells Stella he thinks she's helped bring TJ and Molly back together. Stella just hopes TJ and Molly flash back why they fell in love, and why they've stayed together. When they learn to lean on and support one another, that's when the mending begins. Away, Alexis runs into Molly. Alexis says Christina is being released and assumes that's why she's there. Molly explains she came to see TJ and Stella to reuse the baby's birth instrument. Molly states she must get back to the office. Alexis asks if she doesn't want to say hello to Christina. Molly doesn't suppose that's a good idea. They sit down, and Molly reflections her baby failed because Christina had to defy Ava. Molly says if Christina showed some restraint, also Christina wouldn't be then, and her baby would be alive. Alexis gets it. When tragedy occurs, you want to condemn someone. Alexis says that occasionally there are no answers, you see and sense your way out of it, and occasionally you just have to feel the grief. Alexis wishes she could make sense of this but advises her not to direct her grief at the person feeling the same way she is. TJ arrives at the gallery and tells Ava it was time they spoke. He has heard from Christina how his child failed, and now he wants to hear it from her. Ava says what happened was a terrible and woeful accident. She says she's sorry for his loss. TJ wants to know what happened. Ava explains that Christina showed up at her suite angry that she'd been subpoenaed. She hovered her, and said if she didn't pull out the process, she'd be sorry. Christina kept coming at her, and she tried not to engage. TJ asks if Ava is saying Christina's falling was her own fault. Back at the sanitarium, Alexis and Molly continue to talk when Sunny busts Christina out of her room. Suddenly, Kate's arrives and announces that Christina is under arrest. Next on General Hospital, Cody and Sasha get passionate again, and he asks if this is okay with her. Violet and Tracy, dressed in riding gear, search the forces for someone. Molly tells Jordan she's starting to suppose Ava isn't responsible for Christina's fall. Laura tells Dante that commodity's not right with Lulu. Jason asks Anna when they find Valentine if she's going to advise him again. Dainties tells Sunny, "I got the FBI behind me, what do you have?"